NXT Takeover London is, well, it depends on your time zone, really. They're saying, some people are saying Tuesday, so today. Some people are saying tomorrow. It depends on your time zone. It probably depends on when it airs. So it might be in the afternoon for you. It might be before lunch. It might be at night. It might be noon. It might be 3 o'clock. It depends on where you are. So check your time zone. Check WWE Network and check everything really because it could be an easy day for you or it could be a long day. But if you miss it, it's not a big deal because it'll be on the network anyway. So, but with that being said, that really changes a lot because I think the last time we had this was the what was it? The Beast in the East Japan thing. So it was like 5 in the morning for us, and then it was like pay-per-view time regularly for us would be like in the UK or whatever, in Japan, whatever. So it depends on the time zone. It depends on everything. Uh, you can check probably right now and see what's going on. And I want to say that it is. I'm sorry, I just wanted to check something real quick, just to see if it is tomorrow. In fact, because they'll have the pre-show up. So when the pre-show's there or it's already done, you'll know when it's going on. So let's just see here what's going on here because I actually have no idea when it's going to be. So uh, pause that, and then it will be tomorrow. Yes, for us. So it might be Tuesday for some people. It might be Wednesday for some people. So it depends on exactly when it is. I just want to make sure so I don't say something wrong here. But let's go with these matches real quick. First, and this probably doesn't account for NXT tapings if they're doing any tapings in the UK before Takeover. I don't know. That's always a possibility because they've done that before on Takeover, where some of the matches got leaked, and some of those matches were on the week prior or the week after on NXT. It depends on what they're doing. So you might get bonus matches, you might not. You don't know because they might be doing a full taping there. They are saying that William Regal will be there. We don't have that confirmed for sure. I mean, WWE is trying to confirm it, and oh, that's the fucking thing for that. But it depends on what's going on here. It really does. People are saying William Regal will be here and has confirmed following for the special. It really, no, that's the card for, no, I think they added a match or two. Did they? Um, okay, I think they just moved the card around on a different window. That's very awkward. I apologize for that, but let's go on these real quickly. But like I said, it depends on what they're doing because if it's a 2 hour show, all these matches that we're going to talk about will probably be at Takeover. If not, probably have some matches for the next week on NXT maybe. But with that being said, first off, Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin. Apollo has been very, very impressive over the past 2 weeks, even having an NXT title shot, which was ruined by a man we'll talk about later on. But with that being said, Baron Corbin is a very interesting talent right now because he's totally turned on the universe. He's totally turned on the NXT fans, the faithful that are there every single night or in Orlando or anywhere else around the world. It really depends on what's going on here. And it's interesting, really interesting to say that I don't know who'll win this. My gut says Apollo Crews, but I wouldn't be surprised if Baron Corbin pick up the win. Next up is Asuka versus Emma. The last TakeOver event, we saw Dana Brooke face the debuting Asuka, otherwise known as Kana, in the Japan scene. God, I could talk all day about Kana. She's amazing, a great talent. Has won the multiple championships over in Japan and is now in the WWE, or in NXT, rather. And she faces a veteran in this business, Emma, which is weird to say Emma's a veteran now, but she's done this all her life in Australia, and she went over to the FCW, went over to NXT, WWE main roster, back to NXT, so she's done this before. Asuka has not, but I think the result will be the same. Dana Brooke may be at ringside, so you have to account for that. If Dana helps Emma get the win, that's the only way Emma will get the win here, if Dana helps her out, but Asuka will probably win again. Next up, we have the NXT Tag Team titles Dash and Dawson, two people I did not think would have the titles. Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson having the tag titles as they face Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. Now, Dawson Dash have been very impressive the past few weeks, actually defeating the current, or not the current, but the former champions, Blake and Murphy, for the titles. I think during NXT Television a couple weeks ago, gave them a rematch. They lost the rematch. So, or no, it was the Vaudevillains. It was the Vaudevillains, and then they also beat Blake and Murphy. They beat both teams, so it didn't matter. So that statement kind of makes sense anyway. But with that being said, Enzo and Cassidy could have Carmella in their corner, because I think they were injured recently, and this is they're coming back, and they're going to have this match, I believe. I think there was an injury angle with Dash and Dawson injuring Enzo and Cass. They're coming back for this, so I wouldn't be surprised if they won the belts. But Dash and Dawson, try saying that 3 times fast, they basically just won the belts a couple weeks ago. So it wouldn't make sense for them to lose the belts unless you're wanting to call them up, which I doubt they're doing. But if you're wanting to call Enzo and Cash up, then they're going to have the champs win and retain. Next up, we have the NXT Women's Championship match, and this could be the biggest threat to the career of Bayley as she faces Nia Jax. Recently, Bayley has been defending the title against people like Alexa Bliss, Eva Marie, and she actually made Eva Marie look good for once. So Eva Marie actually looked decent in that match, I will say. Eva's getting better, but she has this muscle in Nia Jax, someone who has been here for a couple weeks now, a couple months now actually, had a big impact in the Eva Bayley match after the match. And she is the cousin of The Rock. I think, cousin of The Rock, not sister, but cousin of The Rock. And she's been very impressive. So if Bayley was to lose the belt here and move up in the main roster, I would say that Nia Jax would win the belt. Nia has not been defeated. Nia's barely been taken off her feet to begin with. So this is a lock that Nia Jax will probably win the belt. And it may be too soon, but Bayley needs to go to the main roster, because I can just imagine fucking wibbly wobbly, whatever they are, wibbly wobbly, wavy arm, tube man, whatever the hell they were, the Family Guy thing. But that needs to be on Raw. It needs to be on everywhere, because Bayley can be the face of women's wrestling. And she already is, but she could be the face. She could be the next Cena if they book her correctly. In this PG era, Bayley is perfect for that role. And finally, Finn Balor defends the NXT Championship against Samoa Joe. And of course, with the Balor Cruz title match a couple weeks ago, Cruz won a Battle Royal. They had the match, and Samoa Joe ended that match. These two recently won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, so of course it's going to happen eventually. But with that being said, I have to say that it's really a toss-up. It depends what WWE wants to do. If they want to bring Finn to the main roster, they're going to have Joe win the belt. If they don't want to bring the main roster, then Finn will retain. It really depends on what the main roster wants, because the ratings for Raw over the past few weeks have been really bad, almost TNA-like when they were on Spike. Eventually, they might go to the Destination America levels. I don't know, but it just depends on what they want to do. Because NXT clearly, in my mind, is the greatest product going right now, with exception of Lucha Underground. They are the top company in the world. And a lot of people say they're developmental, which they are. But they have made themselves into a brand, into a company, where NXT is the biggest promotion in the world. And a lot of people don't want to work for WWE. They want to work for NXT. They want to work for Lucha Underground. They want to work for Ring of Honor. So it depends on what they want to do to solidify the brand, the company name that is NXT. And that is depending, again, where you are in the world. Could be tonight, could be tomorrow night. So it depends on where you are.